Hi everybody, it's Rogue Intuition Tarot, and I'm back with another pick a card. Today's pick a card is about your job search / career. We have 5 piles here. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, pile number 5. Use your intuition to pick your pile, and the timestamps will be in the description box and the comment down below. I will see you at your pile. Goodbye. So if you chose pile number 1, this is the reading for you. So about your job search / career or any other messages. So some of you have kind of like, not necessarily given up, but you're not, maybe you're not in a position where you really need to look for a job right now. You might just be feeling a little bit discontent with your job. Maybe they're not giving you enough like benefits or anything, or you just feel like the pay isn't good enough for you. Overall, you're like kind of in a good place, but you're not really like passionate about your job. And I could see that like you're getting like some offers, but you're just not really digging them or wanting them at all. Maybe you might be somebody that prefers like doing individual work versus like group work. So maybe like working like remotely or from home. You might not be somebody that really likes to do a lot of like leadership work. But I'm seeing that a lot of your job offers could be more of like a group work based thing, or maybe you're somebody that wants to be self-employed, but you're just not finding like the right way to do it right now. And I'm getting like the advice is just to like keep looking. I mean, if you're looking for advice, but the advice is just like keep looking. I feel like you'll eventually find what you want, but you might want to like refine your like descriptions more. You might just want to like refine like what you're actually looking for and really like base it off of that. For some of you, I'm getting that you need more like education or training to really do what you want to do. And so instead of like stalling and just being discontent with the jobs that that are being offered to you now, it might be time to like take action towards the job that you really want and to really put in the work, if you can, because I'm seeing again that like a lot of you are like in a financially stable place like where you can do that. All right, so pile number 1, that was your reading. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below what other video you'd like to see next. And please visit my Instagram and email me if you ever want a personal reading. Those things are both in the description box down below. Feel free to pick another pile, or I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Pile number 2, this is your reading if you chose these cards. So, sorry about like the chip nails. Yeah, I need to do my nails again. But anyway, so about your job search / career. All right, right off the bat, I'm getting a lot of yellow. So you guys might want to check out my solar plexus chakra reading. So I'll leave that in the description box down below if you ever want to check it out. Basically, it's just like what does your solar plexus chakra want to like tell you. And I'm seeing a lot, that your career and job related stuff has to do is like with your solar plexus chakra. Some of you could be like mothers, or you're just in a very like you're trying to nurture something right now. You're really trying to build something stable for yourself. I'm feeling for a lot of you, and possibly for other people, but I'm seeing a lot more like for yourself. You guys may have like a business idea, but you may just feel as if like you don't have enough like strength or willpower to do it right now. Yeah, some of you are like recovering from like a heartbreaking situation, or like maybe a relationship that really like hurt you, and you're really just not feeling, you don't have like enough like strength or just energy to really like get up and sort of hop on this business idea that like you have. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you want to start your own business, but it could just be that I don't know, you might be in some like sort of leadership position at work, or you might just be at a job where people like their ideas are always like listened to. And I'm seeing that like you do have a very like brilliant idea, but to actually execute it is going to take you a lot of work, which is kind of like why you're kind of procrastinating on it right now. And so yeah, so the advice is kind of to just really make sure you're actually resting. I feel like for some of you, you're like fake resting. You're kind of just like, like after I take this break, like I'll do it right after or something like that. But it's like, no, like actually take time to like rejuvenate and rest and heal from whatever has like happened to you, you know. And like, you know, like, because like when we get physically hurt, you know, we always take time to recover after. And sometimes when we're emotionally hurt, that's what we need to do. We can't just like run into certain situations thinking that like, you know, oh, we need to suck it up, and like, you know, that after like one like day or like a few hours we should be okay. um you know, so like really take the time to almost like mentally stabilize yourself. I'm seeing for a lot of you, like, you need to like take more care of your mental health or take better care of it. And then you can really hop on this business idea. And if you really can't stay away from this idea while you're recovering, you can also think of ways to like refine it and make it better so that when you are done recovering from whatever has hurt you, whether this is physical, mental, or emotional, or all of the above, you know, like it's like it's so good that like, you know, whoever you're working for, whether that's yourself or other people, are just like ready to go with it. And there aren't a lot of improvements that need to be made. So yeah, that was your reading pile number 2. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please look at the description box down below to visit my Instagram, where I do pick a card readings. And my email is down there if you ever want to contact me for a personal reading. I will see you at another pile or in the next video. Goodbye. A lot of you are focusing on some sort of training or education. Some of you can be doing like apprenticeships or something like that, or some sort of like craftsmanship. But I see a lot of you are just focusing on getting your education. So a lot of you could be in school right now. But I'm seeing that some of you are just like not taking action with a certain job or career right now. Just because you're so focused on this work, which is of course like not a bad thing. But I feel like I don't know, some of you have this like push and pull energy where it's like you're so excited to do this thing that you kind of just want to do it right away, yet you still have a lot of like work to do. This could be my pile. And yeah, but like you still have like a lot of work and like education to do. And that's what you like need to do right now, or that's like the advice for you to just keep on going with that. But for others, I'm getting that either you are sort of like stuck in the education cycle where you feel as if like you're not growing enough, but it may just be like it's time for you to get like real world experience so you can grow even further, or actually get a grasp of like what you actually need to like work on. And then for others of you, I'm feeling that like, how do I explain this? I'm feeling you're kind of like, you don't want to like rush into like any job or like work situation, but at the same time I feel like you're also like holding yourself back from sort of looking and putting yourself out there. So I think the advice for you, if that applies to you, is to start taking like really small steps towards that. Just like building like resumes and stuff like that. And just seeing, and also like just like looking at certain companies that you would like to work for first, just to get yourself like prepped and started so that you know exactly like what you want to do or what your goal is. And that way, while you're still getting your education or training, you can sort of tailor that to what you actually want, without feeling as if like you're not rushing into something, but you're also not going anywhere. All right, pile number 3, that was your reading. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please visit my Instagram, which is down in the description box below, and so is my email if you ever want to contact me for personal readings. Please comment what video you would like to see next, and I will see you in the next pile or in the next video. Goodbye. Hi, pile number 4. This is your reading if you chose this pile. So, about your job search and or any other career messages that are coming up, I'm seeing that, okay. So, first of all, something with like your throat chakra is coming up. Some of you could be like, I was getting orator. I think that's how you say orator. Or like you could be like a public speaker or something, or you might be like a person who does a lot of like sales, like representative like stuff. You could just be like a regular salesman, or you could even like do like customer service or something like that. And I'm seeing that, so for some of you, you kind of got kicked out of your workplace, and maybe not necessarily fired, but maybe your people at your workplace just didn't like you, and you might have been like unjustly like, you know, fired or kicked out for something that was like small. Um, it could have been a very toxic workplace. I'm seeing that management could have been really like bad or very cliquish. Um, there could have been like a lot of like nepotism and favoritism that went on within like the management or leadership that was there. Um, if this was like at like a regular like workplace where there was a hierarchy of some sort, um, there were people that would like suck up to management to sort of like get the positions that they wanted. And like obviously like that I feel like it's kind of like a thing almost like anywhere, but I feel like it's very like big in your situation. Yeah. And I'm seeing that you feel as if like you have something to offer to other people, but just like other people aren't taking it. Um, yeah. And I feel like for some of you, somebody's going to offer you something, but you're not going to take it. Oh, it could be in love for some of you, but I'm seeing for a lot of you, it's just like a regular job offer. Okay. And then, oh wow, okay. So now I'm getting that, like, for those of you that are offered a job and you do take it, and it has to do with like public speaking or just talking a lot in some sort of way, you're going to meet like your soulmate or like your future partner in there. Yeah. But for a lot of you, I'm just seeing that like you just might have gotten like thrown out of like your old workplace. And you're kind of just like trying to get back like on your feet. Although I don't feel like is something that really like threw you off course though. I think for a lot of you, you still are like in a very pretty like financially like okay place. But you know whatever happened at this job actually like really like hurt you, and for some of you, it might have even like hurt your career a little bit. But again, I'm seeing that somebody's going to offer you something, or you're going to get another job offer soon. Um, and I think for those of you that are just really like tired and like bummed out right now about this whole situation, is to kind of just like take a break and like nurture yourself. Develop your skill set while you can for a lot of you. And try and make sure that, you know, when you're looking for a job, you really take into consideration the type of company that it is and the type of management that it is. I feel like for some of you, and this isn't like this, obviously, like, I'm not saying that, like, this is something that, how do I, like, it's not something that you can necessarily control, because everybody, like, needs money. Money is a basic need in our day-to-day life, and it's not a bad thing, but I think for some of you, you're very like desperate for a job, so you kind of just chose anything that came your way, and this kind of ended up in you being put in. Although it was like the fastest situation possible, it might have been like the worst situation possible for you, and so I'm seeing like the advice is to not be so desperate and to take precaution when it comes to choosing your next job, and really making sure that like the company is like aligned with like your values at least to some degree. And again, obviously we can't get you know like our perfect like workplace, but just making sure that like this is a place where you can at least have some sort of boundaries, you know, like you don't want to hate your job every single time, because you know our job takes up a lot of our time most of the well for a lot of jobs or most jobs. So yeah, just take precaution, and really sort of consider like your own emotional needs when choosing another job. All right, pile number 4, that was your reading. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. My Instagram and my email are down in the description box below if you want to see more pick a cards, or if you want to contact me for a private reading. Um, Feel free to pick another pile or choose another video, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hi, pile number 5. This is your reading if you chose pile number 5. So, in terms of your job search, I'm seeing that a lot of you are in leadership positions right now, or you're just feeling very confident. I feel like, although you are confident, I feel like it comes from a very like weak foundation. For a lot of you, you're kind of very confident and almost over independent, and the fact that like you feel as if like you can't rely on other people, or you feel as if like being dependent on other people would make you very weak, or vulnerable, or that you would be a bad person for wanting to get help from other people. And then for others of you, and this isn't mutually exclusive. I think if you're somebody that does have this sort of idea that like being dependent in any sort of way is a weakness, you might also feel this way. But for some of you, I'm getting that also you have like this sort of like inner conflict within you, um, whereas it's like you're just like battling like yourself all the time. Some of you could be like very like deep perfectionists. It can cause you like sort of like a crippling like anxiety, or just like worry that like other people might not see you as good enough, because you aren't necessarily perfect all the time. Um, and yeah, and also I'm seeing that like you do have this sort of like confident front that you put up, but sometimes when it kind of like comes down a bit, you kind of like lose you kind of lose it almost. Some of you could be very sort of like macho, or have grown up with this ideal of sort of like toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. You might just feel as if like you always need to be very like strong all the time when you really don't need to be. um yeah, and I'm getting at that at your core, like a lot of you are very like pure, maybe even kind of like sensitive people. I think that a lot of people when they first meet you see you as a very like cute person, without seeing all of like the strength that like like that you try to like portray a lot. And I think when people first meet you, they kind of see you for who you are, which is really interesting. But yeah, and so, I mean, like, obviously, like, the advice is to just kind of work through this. I feel like a lot of this comes from trauma and just being scared of being vulnerable. And feeling as if, like, when you're vulnerable, people, will tear you apart, when in reality, you're just doing that to yourself, and you're kind of just projecting that onto your reality. It's not always, like, true, that people are going to, like, tear you down at every chance that they get to. No. I think a lot of you don't really know what it's like to be around supportive people, or people who actually like care about you or want to see you grow. People that aren't afraid to teach you stuff when you ask for something, or people who aren't going to take advantage of you when you want to like learn something. Like, I think you might have had encounters where people who were supposed to like teach you or take care of you were lying to you and using you or manipulating you. But it's almost as if you keep on using that as like a reference for all the other people that you meet in your life, and it's not true, you know? So yeah. Pile number 5, that is your reading. Please remember to like, share, and comment. My Instagram and my email are in the description box down below, if you ever want to contact me for a private reading. And I will see you in another pile or video. Oh, please remember to comment what video you would like to see next. Yeah, so goodbye.